Hi, so in the last tutorial, I basically explained how to install a Protobuf file and how to run a simple Protobuf file. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a small trick on how to use defaults. So you know how in proto files we usually like write variable name is equal to 1, 2, 3, and then serialize it, right? So we don't really get a chance to write any default values. So this is actually not possible in Protobuf 3 because that feature is deprecated for some reason, God knows why. But this feature is there in proto2. So what I like to do is, like, for all of my default values, I just create one proto file which has syntax is equal to proto2, and then I write all of my default values in that one proto file. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make a package called chocolate, and I'm going to make a message, say classroom. So basically in this message I'm going to write a few fields for like each student, like information of each student. So in a classroom, everybody's school name is going to be the same. So I'm just going to write school name and give it a default value. Also, since we are using proto2, we will have to specify the field rule, that is if the field is required, optional, or repeated. So in proto3, required and optional are no more included, but you can still have repeated fields. So like basically in proto2, if you name some field as a required field and you do not give its value, like if while using it you do not specify the value of the field, it's going to throw an error. So that's what required and optional is basically for. And repeated values are just like you can use that field more than one time. Now basically default values are like really simple. All you have to do is just specify your default value in square brackets, like you write square brackets, default is equal to, and then you use double quotes if you want to specify a string, and no double quotes if it's just an integer. And I just added two more fields, name and roll number, and I'm just going to save them and compile it. So here I just compiled the file, and now I'm going to check if the pb.cc and pb.h files have been created. So now I'm going to make a cpp file, default cpp.cpp, and now I'm just going to write the normal program. So here I just compiled the file, and now I'm going to check if the pb.cc and pb.h files have been created. So now I'm going to make a cpp file, default cpp.cpp, and now I'm just going to write the normal program. School name and my grade was default. I wouldn't have to specify them, like they already had a default value, so I wouldn't have to specify them. So I'm just going to write name as Ruchi and roll number 24, and write the cout statements, like to print the default values as well as the values that I've already just set right now. So I just created two instances where child 1 will have default school names, and in for child 2 we can write over the default school name. So I just give two random school names and grades, and I'm just going to print that. So here, as you can see, your default values for school and grade have been printed for child 1 automatically, and for child 2, since we set them, they're different.